Hey witches, welcome to Busy, Gritty, Inked, and Witchy, a magical living podcast for the busy witch. I'm Morgan, eclectic witch of almost 25 years, Avalon priestess, and busy witch. Here we'll talk all things witchy, from current metaphysical happenings to my busy witch tips and tricks, and everything in the in-between. This podcast is my personal journey, filled with my knowledge, opinions, and unique way of looking at the world. Join me as I weave the magical and the mundane in every episode. Hey witches, welcome back to Busy, Gritty, Inked, and Witchy. I am Morgan, and today I'm doing something I've done before, but it's a little bit of a change from my most recent content for the last couple of months, I think. Yeah, so this is a subject that not only has been a forefront of my life for almost a year now, and of course, because of that, because I mention little bits and pieces here on the podcast and in the Ink Spirit Coven, I have people asking me about it all the time. But something happened last week that really brought this to the forefront all over again for me. And so that's what I want to do today is I want to talk about dark, divine, feminine energy. And I'm doing it a little bit differently than I have been. So for the last couple of months, I've really been in business mode. So when I receive messages as far as, hey, you should talk about this on the podcast this week, I take those downloads and then I almost apply business knowledge to them, like SEO, what can I call the title? Like, what would make people want to click on this? Why would people want to listen to this episode? And it's great, and it's been drawing new people into the podcast, and that's wonderful. And I do want to also say I would never talk about anything on this podcast that I'm not passionate about. I'm not going to sit here and talk about something for clicks, or to gain listeners. Every subject that I do is one that I receive, I intuit, I receive in a dream, I receive messages in my morning shower. And it's something that keeps popping up to where I'm like, I need to talk about this. But what I've been doing with those messages lately, or those topics, is kind of putting a little bit of a business thing on them. And today I'm going back. I'm going to teach today a little bit. Like, I'm going to share stuff with you, but we're going to talk. I want to talk with you all about dark, divine, feminine energy, but I want to talk with you from the standpoint of what happened to me last week. Okay. So, I don't have a lot of notes. I have some basic guidelines to keep me on track, because as you all know, I can go off on tangents very easily, but there's no guarantee I still will not go off on tangents during this one. Okay. So last week, this all was inspired by what happened to me last week. So let's go back there. And this also ties into last week's episode, which was recorded before what happened to me. So last Tuesday, I was sick. I don't remember the last time I have been that sick. It was acute. It was, here and gone within 24 hours. At first, we don't know what it was still to this day. I will say that because my son and my husband took care of me and they never got sick, I don't think it was like virus related. I had eaten some suspicious sushi, so it could have been that. But anyway, last Tuesday, I was knocked on my ass for the entire day. It lasted into Wednesday. It lasted into Thursday. Just the weakness and everything. But I want to say at about the 10-hour mark of having everything violently purged from my body every 30 minutes or so, to where I couldn't even keep down stomach meds, anything like that. About the 10-hour mark, I sent my son to the drugstore and said, hey, just pretty much buy the anti-nausea aisle for me. And he came back, and I was able to get something in me to at least stop the vicious cycle that was happening. And I got a little bit of sleep. So to fully understand what happened, you have to understand how I normally am when I am quote unquote sick. Okay. And this is not with like the head cold that I had for 3 fucking weeks in January and February. This is like flu. This is like COVID. This is like, cold. This is like when I'm down for the count. Okay. For a day or a couple of days. My pattern is to get through whatever that is, have my fever break, whatever. And then as soon as my fever breaks, I'm in the shower, I'm getting dressed, I'm putting on some more lounge clothes, but I'm still getting prepared for the day, or if usually it's in an evening time by the time my fever breaks. I'm trying to shove peanut butter and jelly sandwiches down my throat. I'm sitting up in bed, I grab my laptop, I'm going to work. There's a movie on. I usually put on comfort movies, comfort TV shows to play in the background. But the minute that I start to feel better, that's it. I'm back to pushing. And Tuesday was so different that I tried, but I will say that like about the 12-hour mark of being very, very, very sick, I was running a little bit of a fever. I was severely dehydrated at this point because I couldn't even keep water down. So once the nausea stopped, I was like, I need to take a shower. I need to just wash the funk off of me. Okay. And we don't have a bathtub. So if you're like, why didn't you take a bath? We don't have one. We just have standing showers in my house. So everything in me, alarm bells were going off in my head. Do not do this. Lay your ass in bed and continue to watch Balin out loud, which is my new favorite thing right now. Lay there, do not move. And I was like, no, fuck you. This is what I do. I'm going to push. I feel a little bit better. I'm going to push. So I ended up throwing up twice in the shower. It was a huge mistake. Should not have done that. Even when I was quote unquote feeling a little better, and I think I needed to post the podcast stuff to come out the next day. Like I needed to post the YouTube video and like the little Reels clip. That's it. That's all I could do. That's all I could muster. My laptop was closed. And so it was a huge eye opener for me of rest, which is very hard for me. So I got great sleep that night, and I woke up Wednesday with so much clarity that what had happened to me was so much bigger than just having a 24-hour stomach bug. And this was an idea that dropped in when I was waking up Wednesday morning. And I think I've mentioned in the past that there are 2 times when I get downloads from my higher self, my guides, whoever. 2 really important times. One of them is right as I'm waking up in the morning, when you're in that in-between state. And the other one's in the shower. I think it's the water, or maybe the fact that I'm just focusing on something else. But anyway, so upon waking Wednesday morning, I had this moment of absolute clarity as to what happened. Had I eaten bad sushi? Maybe. Had I gotten some kind of 24-hour bug? Yeah. I mean, obviously something inside of me wanted out. Okay. Something inside of me caused an imbalance. Okay. That my body needed to reject very quickly and very violently. But what dropped in for me was, as a nod to last week's episode, I cannot believe I talked about it just last week. And it's probably because I talked about it last week that this happened so quickly for me. That's what happens when you have to shift, when you have a transformation on deck waiting. Okay. I've been working with dark divine feminine energy since last summer, and it has 100% changed my life. It has changed who I am at my core. It has helped me figure out who I am at my core and what I will stand for and what I won't stand for in my life. And I have been actively working with dark divine feminine energy since last summer. There's always been a part of me, though, that is like, I want more. I always felt like I was holding back. I was holding back a little bit. And whether it is because I am literally wired for divine masculine energy. Out of the, whatever it is, 12, 13, 14 planets that are in your chart, like your birth chart, 6 or 7 of them are divine masculine for me. And I think it's like 12 planets, and it's like 7 or 8 are actually, anyway, the majority of me is wired for divine masculine energy. My entire life I have pushed. I have drive. I have motivation. I push until I get what I've been working for. I am an extremely high achiever. I have been my entire life. And if you were to sit there and look at a list of divine masculine traits, that is me. Okay. So whether I'm fighting natural coding within me, or whether I'm fighting a limiting belief that I'm divine masculine, this is how I've lived my entire life. Okay. And Wednesday morning, I woke up and the thought hit me. I've been wanting more since I've been on this divine feminine journey. The little bit that I have begun to embody here or there, and this aspect of dark divine feminine energy that I truly took to heart. And this part, I always wanted more, always wanted to embody more. And there was always something that I would be like, yes, no, I'm doing this. This is changing my life. This is changing my life, but I'm trying to do more. I'm trying to embody dark divine feminine energy more. And it was a true core desire of mine. But that's what I was saying. I want to embody it more. I'm trying to embody it more. And I truly think, as crazy as it fucking sounds, that Wednesday I woke up with this clarity and I felt different. There was a shift in me. And all I could think was, well, she busted out. Dark divine feminine energy took over, because this is what I want. This truly is what I want at my core. And for whatever reason, I was holding back, fully embodying dark divine feminine energy. And what happened to me Tuesday was a shift. And this shift happened. And like every time I'm sick normally, it's just a couple of hours. And then I'm showering and I'm working and I'm eating and I'm being a quote unquote normal human being. I don't rest. So whatever happened, whether it was sushi, a virus, whatever, I do believe that it happened to me. And it happened to me in such an extreme way that I cannot remember the last time I was that sick, because it needed to get my attention to be like, bitch, slow down. You need to rest. You have got to take care of yourself. And it was through this that I woke up Wednesday morning immediately thinking about divine feminine energy. And I woke up Wednesday morning with this clarity of, oh my God, I had to rest yesterday. And I felt different. And this is it. The divine feminine shift in me finally happened because I was consciously resisting it. I had limiting beliefs. I had something holding me back from fully embodying dark divine feminine energy. And in true dark divine feminine style, she came forward and she said, you're sitting on the fence. I'm going to fucking do this for you. And that's what happened to me, because I have been different since last Wednesday. We had ship day. That was our subscription box ship day. I came in. My husband was like, are you coming in? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. I lasted half a day before I literally sat there and was like, I'm going to go home and rest. I want to go home and rest. It wasn't even a struggle, which normally it would have been. And normally I would have been too weak to go in. I would have pushed through anyway. I would have stayed the whole day and I would have been like, fuck you. I am not weak. That's how bad the divine masculine is in me, how toxic it is. So Wednesday, I worked half a day. I did go in Thursday. I sat on my ass all fucking day Thursday and worked like computer stuff. But I started journaling because things in me just started coming out. Things about my personal appearance, things I wanted to do for myself, how I wanted to take care of myself moving forward, how I wanted to dress, how I wanted to look. Like all of this stuff starts coming to the surface and I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from? It's all divine feminine energy. All of it, every single bit of it. So I fully believe that Tuesday she took over and set up scenarios to where I was broken down to just stripped away of everything on Tuesday. Stripped away of my ability to stand vertically. Because when I tried in the shower, I threw up twice in the shower. So everything in me, this is my truth. And I know it sounds crazy, but this is what I believe. And this is the shift that occurred in me last week. And I do feel like a different person. I feel like I'm almost navigating things in a different way that I've never navigated before. And I'm creating more. It's just been so beautiful. Okay, so that's my story. And now we're going to get into a little bit more of the typical content or style that I have. And that's to tell you about divine feminine, dark divine feminine energy. Okay. So to talk about dark divine feminine energy, we first have to talk about divine feminine and divine masculine energy. I'm just going to do a very quick run through for those who are new here. Okay. Divine feminine energy. Well, the first thing to know is that we all have divine feminine and divine masculine energy within us, regardless of sex, gender, sexual preference, all of it. Okay. I just told you that I had such toxic masculinity inside of me, such toxic divine masculine energy. And I am a female. Okay. I was born a sex assigned at birth female. Okay. And that is how I identify as well. So divine feminine and divine masculine energy absolutely live within every single person. Okay. Divine feminine energy, to give you an idea, is very nurturing. It's very comforting. Okay. It's a flow. And divine feminine energy attracts and pulls in. Okay. Whereas divine masculine energy is a push. Okay. It's getting shit done. It's motivating. It's action. Okay. Divine feminine is she rests, she relaxes. Divine masculine gets shit done. Okay. Structure is another thing. So if divine feminine energy is flow, divine masculine energy is structure. Okay. Divine masculine energy, that's me. I'm always pushing. I'm always moving. I don't say, well, I didn't. I should say didn't. But anyway, so if that's divine feminine energy and divine masculine energy, now we're going to talk about dark divine feminine energy. Okay. Dark divine feminine energy is divine feminine energy, but it is so much deeper than that. You have to go down into the dark, deep recesses of your soul to connect with dark divine feminine energy. And I don't mean dark as in evil. Okay. That is not. Now, might be perceived as it. And in fact, the entire time I was writing the few notes for this, the character that embodies dark divine feminine energy, there's one that was given to me by my business coach mentor, and that's Morticia Adams. Okay. So if you're a visual person, Morticia Adams 100% embodies dark divine feminine energy. So does Maleficent. Okay. So does Maleficent. I apologize if y'all just heard my phone go off. And as I was writing the notes for this, I was like, it's Maleficent all the way, baby. So yeah, other people could see it as evil, but it is not. Okay. And we're going to get to that. Dark divine feminine energy is fiercely unapologetic. She do what she do because who the fuck cares? Because she fucking wants to. Okay. It's seductive. It is sexy. It is sensual. it is a turned on state. Okay. And turned on can be, turned on like sexually. It can be turned on as in energetically. Okay. Like just like flipping a light switch on, you are motivated. You are inspired. That's a better word. Not motivated. You're inspired. Okay. Dark divine feminine energy has reclaimed her power and confidence and uses it to manifest everything of her desire, her dreams. What she wants, she gets. And if you are interpreting any of this as negative, like, oh, that's selfish, you're not quite there yet. And it will take, like, it took me a while to get down to it, okay? Because being quote unquote selfish is not a bad thing. Okay, you're setting boundaries. That's what being quote unquote selfish is. You're setting boundaries and you're putting yourself first. Okay. Deeply creative, and she is the creator of all things. She understands that every desire, every idea that she births into the world is created by her. Okay. And again, male, female, it does not matter. You have this energy laying inside of you. It's just there. Okay. There's a flow to dark divine energy, a deep flow. Okay. Because there is a trust. There is a trust and an understanding that you understand you are the only power in your world. You understand that everything that is happening, you are creating. And you understand that everything you want to create will be yours. So you have a flow, you have a trust that comes along with it. Dark divine feminine energy plays with her shadows. You cannot find your dark divine feminine energy. You cannot tap into it without shadow work. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. And it is something that I found out on Tuesday. You have to fully embody or she will do it for you. Man, take it from me. Please embody it yourself. If you're lit up right now and you're like, fuck yes, fuck yes, fuck yes. Tell me more. And that dark divine feminine energy is rising within you. Okay. And you decide to go down this path of tapping into it. It is an all or nothing thing, because once you start to tap into it, you won't want to ever go back to the way you were before. I can tell you that's the first thing. The second thing is like I found out, you cannot have one leg in dark divine feminine and one leg in divine masculine and think that you're embodying it. Okay. She will do it for you. She will knock you down to nothing, make you vomit for 12 fucking hours. Okay. So how do you find your dark divine feminine energy? How do you tap into this? Now look, this is still a journey that I am on. And a lot of my information came from a program that I did for months. Okay. That was coined and developed by my business coach. So it's not something that, I'm not going to go around, sharing her secrets or whatever, but there are steps you can take 100%. And there are things you can do to start that shift within you. And then once that ball starts rolling within you, you got to embrace it and see where it takes you, because it will take you to the next step. It will take you to the next part of your transformation. Okay. It goes on autopilot once you decide to go down this path. Okay. So people think that goddess energy, you hear a lot of it. Oh, goddess energy, goddess rising. You have to rise up to goddess status. To embody your inner goddess, you have to rise yourself up. Dark divine feminine energy, you're going down. You're going in. Okay, you are going down into yourself to ask yourself the hard questions, to figure out who you are, to embody that dark divine feminine energy, and to embody and be yourself at your core. And you've got to figure out who the fuck that is. Okay. You have to do shadow work. You have to strip away your fears. You have to face your fears. You have to strip them away. You have to strip away your limiting beliefs, the stories that you've been telling yourself for years. You have to strip away the old ways of seeing yourself. Like me. Oh, I'm divine masculine. That's how I see myself. Up until Tuesday. Up until Tuesday. Oh yeah, I can't really fight my divine masculine. These are all stories I told myself. Like, oh, I've got all these planets in divine masculine. Yeah, I do. That does not define who I am, though. Okay? So you have to do shadow work. Okay? And there is a point where in your shadow working, you can continue to dive down. You can continue to pull things out, look at it, view it, heal from it, or move on. But at some point, you just have to accept who you are and love yourself. All of it. You're going to get down in there and you're going to be like, oh shit, that was not nice. Like where did that come from? Like how long have I held on to that? And you're going to pull it out and you're going to look at whatever that is. You're going to be like, oh, that's nasty. That's in me. And you have to make a decision then. Okay, I'm going to heal this. Or, you know what? It's just fucking part of who I am. I'm going to keep moving forward. Not in a bad way, not in a spiritual bypassing way. But I love this ugly ass part of myself. I love her anyway. Shit, why did that get me? Sorry. You have to look at that ugly ass part of yourself and love it anyway. And when that hits too. And then you lovingly, you put it back in there and you're like, I love you. I'm not going to let you control me anymore. I love you and I see you, but we're going to move forward, okay? All right? Okay. And also in order to find your dark divine or to get down into that dark divine feminine energy, you have to be unafraid to have the difficult conversations with yourself. And this is where a lot of people, they're like, oh, I can do this. And then they get to that ugly ass thing that's down inside of them. And they're like, oh, I don't want to see this anymore. Fuck this. And they bail. Okay. They go back to their regular existence, their life that brought them some kind of unhappiness to begin with, or else they wouldn't have began the journey. You know? So you have to ask yourself, am I truly happy? What's not working for me in life? How did I get here? What lessons have I learned? And what lessons am I doomed to repeat because I refuse to learn them? What makes me happy or turns me on that I'm afraid to admit? Okay, we all have kinks, and I not necessarily sexual, but maybe sexual. And they're kinks about life. They're kinks about ways you think. They're kinks about how you view things in the world that you keep to yourself. Because I can't tell that to anybody. Oh my God, somebody's going to judge me. Oh my God, I can't say that out loud. Woo! So that's why I say kinks can be sexual. Kinks don't have to be sexual. Okay? But we all have those kinks. And it's time for you to get down to the kinks, call them out, and be like, yeah, I fucking think like that. Yeah, I think that way. I have that belief. I see the world this way. And take away the stigma from it. Because it's a part of who you are. And kinks, whether they are sexual or not sexual, turn you on in some way. You keep them around because they make you happy. They fulfill you in some way. Okay? So that's what you have to get down to. Then, as you're going through all that, this is not like a step 1, step 2, step 3. It is an ever-evolving thing. And every time you hit a new version of yourself, you're going to have to regulate. And then you're going to have to go through it all over again. It's this crazy, it's not even a circle. I don't know what it is, a fucking roller coaster. And it's amazing. I mean, truly, it truly is. I wouldn't be talking about it if I wouldn't be talking about it if I couldn't say that it was worth the ride. Okay, this is a roller coaster that's worth the ride. Then you're going to claim your power. Okay, and I will tell you now, claiming your power might make you look like a bitch. Yeah, Because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be setting boundaries. You're going to realize, oh my God, how did I let this person walk all over me for all of these fucking years? Because you're going to have that awakening. Or how did I continue in this situation for so long? I don't like doing this. Why do I keep doing this? You're going to raise your standards for what you will and won't tolerate in your life from yourself, from situations, and from other people. And you're going to put yourself first. It is not selfish. When you are on a plane, they do not tell you, hey, run around and put everyone else's masks on if there's a problem and then put your mask on. They fucking tell you every time, take care of yourself first, or else you are of no help to any person around you. Okay? So you have to put yourself first. You have to put your needs first. You have to set boundaries. So for a lot of people, especially, and this might land. The only people that are going to bitch about you setting boundaries are the people who are infringing on your boundaries. Yeah. Yeah. I can 100% say that when this started to land for me and when I claimed my power, a lot of things changed. Okay. A lot of things changed. I sat my husband down and we had talks. I sat people down at work and I was told at one point, like, yeah, you became a bitch. And I'm like, I did. I became a bitch because I realized my power and I realized what I would and would not stand for. Now, this is who I am now. Do you accept it or reject it? If they're there for you and they're there truly in your life as a positive influence, they'll be like, I'm here, baby. Let's do it. Let's fucking go on this journey. If they are pissed at you, if they walk out of your life, it is because they don't want you standing up for yourself. They were manipulating you to begin with. You set boundaries to protect yourself, and they were like, what the fuck? I was taking advantage of you. Now you put up these boundaries, but I have a problem with this. That's what's going to happen. Okay? Those who love you for who you are and support you for who you are, they're going to fucking go on this journey with you. And they might even find inspiration from it. Yeah. So you have to claim your power. And then once you realize who you truly are at your core and you embody that dark divine feminine energy, you glow. You wonder how you ever did shit the way before because it feels like a lifetime ago. This is not like a shame thing. You're not like, oh my God. Well, I mean, you might go through it. You might go through that little hit of like, oh my God, I've wasted so much time like not embodying this shit. But because of what you're learning and because you understand that you're always learning and always evolving and that you're always being given new information. So you can't be mad about the version of yourself that you were before you had the information. You know, that's like being mad at a baby that they can't walk. You know, they don't have the skills for that yet. They don't have the ability to handle walking. And you, prior to this awakening, didn't have the skills. You didn't have the capacity to understand it. So why are you getting mad at yourself? Don't do it, okay? So you wonder how you ever lived before because it seems like a lifetime ago. Because like the minute you hit it, the minute it lands for you and you embody that energy. And this could be the first steps of embodying. This is what I've been going through since last summer, okay? And these little hits here and there, you're like, oh my God, how did I ever do that before? Why did I ever care about that before? Why was I holding myself back? Oh my God. And it's like, I don't even remember how I used to be because your body regulates and you're like, this is who I am now. And that's what happens. Okay. So like I said before, I do not have all of the answers because I am still on this journey myself, but that's what I wanted to share with you all today. I wanted to share my story with you all. I wanted to share some information about dark divine feminine energy for you to be able to figure out if this resonates with you, how to move forward. I'm sure Googling it probably will bring about some amazing blog posts at this point, because there's a rising, you guys. There is 100% a rising happening. Side note, fun little tangent, we're running ads on Facebook right now. And the ad for our witchcraft starter kit garnished a comment from a Christian woman who flat out was like, yes, please, witches, we need you to curse the current government. And I'm like, okay, how did you end up over here in the witch sphere of your algorithm? Number one. Number two, I clicked on her profile, super Christian woman. And I'm like, now you want our help? So a couple hundred years ago, you're burning us at the stake, and now you want us to fucking curse the... Come on, please, go away. You go pray. Go do your thing. But like with the political climate the way it is, with the world climate the way it is, I have 100% seen a resurgence of women claiming their power back, but people claiming this dark divine feminine energy, because all that's around us right now is toxic masculinity. So it's really hard to fight toxic masculinity with love and light, you guys. You've got to embody the dark feminine energy, tap into it. Then that will help you claim your power to stand up to the toxic masculinity. Yeah. So I have 100% seen people coming over to witchcraft, coming over, asking about dark divine feminine energy, asking about feminine energy, claiming their power, reclaiming their power as a woman, or just their divine feminine energy, period. Men too. It's been beautiful, and it needs to continue to happen. Okay. So that's what I have for you all. I just wanted to share that. For Patreon, the bonus this week, I'm going to give you a perspective shift on spirit that can help you embody dark divine feminine energy a little bit more, if it lands for you, of course. But that's what the Patreon bonus content is. I do have a Patreon. It is patreon.com/inkedgoddesscreations. There is a free tier. It's very sporadic with what I post on the free tier. But I have 3 paid tiers. The first paid tier gets you the podcast bonus content. Okay. It also gets you a shout out on my podcast. So I want to thank Rose and Jamie for being new paid Patreon members this week. That's the bottom tier. It's $5. Then I have a middle tier called Prophecy Portals, where you get the bottom tier plus a weekly tarot reading for the week's energy. And then the top tier is Magical Manuscripts. I understand right now I'm very sporadic with posting there too, but I have been designing things for you all. I just have to finalize so that I can post things for you all. But you get PDFs, Book of Shadows, to add to your Book of Shadows, like PDF pages. So again, that's patreon.com/inkedgoddesscreations. But yeah, I want to thank you all for being here, for being a listener of Busy, Gritty, Inked, and Witchy. Definitely let me know in the comments if you're listening on Spotify. I do get notified about once a week that I actually have comments there. Or on the social media post, it's Ink Goddess. I'm at Ink Goddess Creations on Instagram is where I hang out. I don't really hang out on TikTok. Or if you're watching this video on YouTube, definitely let me know in the comments if this resonated with you, because I do get those notifications too. So thank you all for being here, for giving me a platform to share my story, and to share my journey with you, and to also teach, maybe open your mind, explode your mind a little bit. And I will see you all next week. Bye. If you're looking for a magical community where you can just be yourself, check out my Ink Spirit Coven. The Coven is an online learning circle for eclectic witches who want to learn new witchcraft practices and how to easily incorporate magic into their daily lives, all while being supported on their personal spiritual journey. And you'll have me as your magical mentor, sharing my knowledge, answering questions, and facilitating the online community. Head to inkspirit.com to learn more and join. And if unique witchcraft supplies made by witches for witches is just what you need, head to my store, inkgoddesscreations.com, to to see what we have to enhance your magical practice. We also have the Ink Goddess Creations box, a monthly subscription of magic mail filled with exclusive items that fit a magical theme. Head to the site to see this month's theme and sneak peeks.